Hey there, this is Mr. Elmhorst with the math lesson where we're going to take a look at combining like terms when we're looking at variables in expressions and equations. So the terms, when we're looking at it, the terms are going to be units that make up the equations and expressions. And the units are separated by addition or subtraction. So one thing we can do is when there's terms with the same numbers, actually, I think that should be letters. This one's letters. So terms with the same letters or variables can be combined on the same side of the equal sign. Now, terms with only numbers, we can do that also. Terms with only numbers can also be combined. So when we are doing this, when we are combining letters with letters, like letters with same letters, and then numbers with numbers, this is called simplifying the terms or simplifying the expressions and equations. Okay, so let's practice down below. So the first one, we're going to identify like terms, and there's 9x plus 3x. Now, they're both separated with addition, but because they're both letters, both the same letter, it's x and x, so then 9 of them and 3 of them says that they can go together, and that's equal to 12x. So down below, we have letter G and letter G. Well, since they're the same letter, we can put those variables together. So 8G and 5G is going to give us 13G. Now the 7 and the 2 are separate all by themselves, so the numbers by themselves, those can go together, but you cannot add the G's with the non-G numbers. So 7 plus 2 will give us 9. So these expressions are equivalent, just this one on the right is a little more simplified because the terms that can be combined are combined. So here's a little fancy one. So we want to pay attention to whether it has an exponent. And because they look exactly the same, we have y squared and y squared. Those terms can go together. So there's 6 plus 2. And then we put the same term in there, y squared. And then we have y, and y all by itself. So there's 10 plus 3 plus y, which just means 1. So that's going to be 14. So those can go together also. And down below, there's one more example where we have x's and y's. So it's important to circle the sign to the left of that term. So there's 7x and negative 4x, or 7 minus 4x. Well, that means you have 7, but then you take away 4 of them, and you're left with 3x. And then we have 2y and 2y. They're both being added. So then you combine them together to be 4y. So these expressions, after they're combined, it's important to note that they are equivalent expressions. So two more examples down below. And how would this look like in an equation? So here we have 5r and negative r. So 5r and negative r means you're going to subtract one of them. So that's going to be left with 4r minus 9, which is equal to 15. Now, we can't necessarily just combine the minus 9 right now, but if we use our equation solving mat, we can actually identify the variable term and then use opposites to combine these also. But when they're on the other side of the line, you have to do opposites to remove them. So this is going to be 4r equals 15 plus 9, which is going to equal 24. You could go one step further and go ahead and solve this just by dividing both sides by divide both sides by 4. So r equals 6. All right, and then the last example here on the right, we have 6n and 8n. So you put all those together, that's going to give us 14n. They're both positive. And then we have 3 plus 2. So 3 plus 3 plus 2 is going to give us 5. And using our equation solving mat, we could actually go ahead and combine and simplify this equation even further. Circle the variable term, and then we're going to do inverse or opposites that are away from the variable term to start to solve. So this is going to give us 14n, which is equal to 23 minus 5. That's going to give us 18. Then we divide both sides by 14. And 14 divided by 14 will cancel, so n is equal to 18 divided by 14, which can be simplified. But we're just going to stop there right now. The focus today was not solving, but it was combining like terms. So focus on separating the units with addition, subtraction, and combining like letters that can be combined with each other, and numbers that are by themselves, those can be combined also. So glue this into your journal on the next open page. Thank you for joining me for this math lesson.